Alright, hello and welcome to your first lab, or your 0th lab, I guess. This video will be placed right there, so that's why you're watching it. And let's go ahead and open up the write-up. So here it is, and then we will also have our handy-dandy virtual machine ready to go. And let's get started in the terminal, I guess. Let me make this a giant for you. And so the first thing that we will do is refresh all these starter code files that I have given to you. I just want to get you in the habit of this. I don't think this matters this time. It's going to go on the internet, download all the things that it needs to download, and this will be more necessary in maybe the next lab. And then we will copy all of the stuff, all of that starter code, to the place that we want to do our work. So perhaps you have made a shared folder on your desktop like I did, or you shared your whole C drive. Go ahead now and CD into the place where you want to put all this code, all right, where you want to work. So cd/sf/media/sf_, then the name of that folder. Here I am inside of that, and I've made a CSCI 41 folder. That's unnecessary for you because you're not teaching 2 classes, and it's completely empty right now. Okay, so now we want to copy that code, that starter code, into this folder. So it's going to make a brand new folder called lab00 for us in whatever our current working directory is. So make sure that you're happy with working in wherever you are right now. So you'll say cp for copy -r for copy an entire folder. That's for recursive. Starter code, CSCI 41, lab00, and then dot for copy this into my current directory, please. And now if you say ls, it has made this lab00 folder. If any of that goes horribly wrong, or you're having some trouble, just open up 2 file browsers, no big deal. Go to where you want to save your stuff, and then go to the starter code, which is in other locations, computer, starter code, CSCI 41, lab00, and here's all that code. So you can just, you can copy and paste it if you're having any issues at all. Okay, so these are the starter code files, and you'll be making some more files as well. So let's go into there and maybe take a look. So you got the files. You'll be making this .cpp file, so I should probably get rid of that. Done. So you'll only have these 3. That is a typo. I'll have to fix that. Alright, and then make sure you've changed your password, because we're going to be submitting this to the server, and we don't want anybody else to steal your stuff. So the first thing that you're going to do, just to get comfortable with using this virtual machine, writing programs, if you haven't tried already for the code from class, is you'll write just a simple hello world program called hello.cpp. So I'm going to do this most of the way for you so that I can show you what it's like to submit. Boop, boop, boop. And then we'll say return 0. Alright, so it's a very simple hello world program. And obviously it's not the one that you're supposed to be writing. You're going to have it print some more extra stuff, but that's essentially all you need right now. Compile and run it, make sure it's working. And then the meat of this lab is going to be writing this box class. So let's go to box.h first. And here is all of these stuff. Here's the class that you'll be implementing. Right now it's declared completely, but you'll be implementing it. So first you have a constructor that makes a box, and the private member variables for box, the entirety of its member variables, are this right here. So we got your width, and you got the box, the character that you're going to draw the box with. So the idea is when you use a box class, it'll have a width and a character, and then you can use an output operator to have it draw a box of that width. So 8 by 8 square of $signs apparently. So that's the idea there. And yeah, that's really the idea. You'll be implementing all of these functions, this constructor, this getter, which just returns the width, of course. Same for getBoxChar. SetBoxChar is the setter. And notice that these have to be const, or they should be const. And then you'll implement some operators. So you'll have an operator that changes your box object to have some more width, or remove some of its width. So this is a member function, this is a friend. So there's a difference between how you'll be implementing those, of course. And then your last function to implement is the output operator for boxes, which will, if you send a box to cout, so let's go to runbox.cpp, if you send a box to cout, it should print just like this, the box of that width with that character. Okay, that's the idea. So please look into that, get that all going. One thing that I do want to mention right now is in the constructor, notice that the parameter of the box constructor that you will be using to set your private member variable has the same name in both cases. So it overshadows these variables. The arguments, the parameters take precedence. So how in the world are we going to set our private member variables? Well, you have two options. One is use initializer lists. If you do A, B, A has to be a member variable, B can be anything. It can be a parameter. So that's a way to do it. Second option is use this. Look into the this keyword. Oops. And so you can do something like this arrow width, which will always get the member variable because this is a pointer to the current object. Okay, so consider those options. And yeah, so you know what it looks like when it's going to run now. Get run box.cpp working first. And then secondly, I want you to go and test your box drawing class. So this will be the last part of your lab. It'll take some time because you're going to be writing your test cases. So you have testbox.cpp. And right now, I have made a few test functions for you that use this assert true function, which makes sure that a certain Boolean value has been achieved, making sure that B is true. And if it is, it'll say passed, otherwise it'll say failed, and you'll have to go and fix it to pass the test. So you shouldn't change these functions, you should make them pass. Alright, so for example, this one, runBoxTestEmpty, I've made for you. It makes a box object called B, and it tries to output an empty box. You'll be looking into this string stream variable as well, this type. It's like your own personal cout. And so it checks and makes sure that the output is nothing and the box char is set to the correct initial value, and so is the width. Okay? And then you have some more advanced tests that test the constructor working properly, test that it's outputting a box of width 1 is just a single $sign if you use the $sign character. And then fancier things, so a box of size 3 with some percent signs is going to output 3 lines with 3% signs on them. And these are checking like the operators now. Starting the box with width 1, making it width 3, confirming that that worked, making the width 1 again, confirming that that worked. Okay, so that's the idea there. In addition to getting these to pass, you will implement 6 more tests. All right, so put them right below. Use the same style that I've done right here. So they'll call this assert true function and say either passed or failed, depending on whether the Boolean that you give it is true or false. Okay, so hopefully that shouldn't be too bad. If anything is going wrong, please yell at me. Come to office hours. I really encourage that, especially because we can't be face-to-face right now. Yeah, I think that's everything. Let me just show you this running. Just really quick, runbox.cpp. Let me show you that. So let me go to C, users. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to go over here. I didn't share that folder on this one. Hide. Let's go to C, users, my name, Dropbox 2020, fall, CSCI 41, labs, lab 00. Okay, so here's runbox running. So with 4 box of elves, that's the idea. And here's the tests passing. That's what you should see when you run that. And they pass, otherwise you'll see failed. And then of course you'll write your own that will be printed after these. Okay? So that's that. And now you're done with your lab, or you want to get partial credit. It's time to turn it in. Okay? So here is the command that you will use to turn in your code to the server. Alright, so you'll say turn in lab00 at CSCI41. It's like an email address. And then your implementation file. So I didn't actually make a box.cpp yet, so I'm just going to make a blank file called that. And then you'll just type this turn in command with all these files. You don't have to give all of them, but it works like this. Enter your server username now, so that is your last name underscore your student ID, test underscore 8675309, and then your password that hopefully you changed. And then it'll take a little bit because it's got to connect to the internet, of course, connect to the server, and hopefully you'll see this. Otherwise, show me the error, or maybe you can figure it out on your own. And so now it's submitted, and you just have to wait for the autograder to grade your code within 15 to 30 minutes. After that time is up, go and check and see if it graded it with the command refresh-grades. So you say refresh-grades to pull them in from the server. And again, you'll sign in and everything. Dun dun dun. And you'll see some information about the files that got transferred. Don't worry. If you see any errors, though, then you can yell at me. And then finally, we can say view grades to look at the grades that we downloaded to see if it actually did the grading and finished. If not, you'll just do refresh until view grade shows your new submission. So I did an old one. I'm not going to wait for the autograder to work. So you just say which option, which grade do you want to see. I want to see this one, option 0, hit enter. And so then you can press Q to close this file, and then also use your arrows to move around. Alright, it's essentially kind of like Vim. So then it'll show your score, your submission date, the points that you got out of the points possible, and of course I'm scoring 0 right now because my output for even the Hello World program is wrong. And then for the other ones, because I didn't implement anything, it's giving me linker errors. So that's that. Hopefully this is useful and things don't go horribly wrong. Please tell me if they do. And that, in total, is your lab. Here's the rubric. I'm going to give the most weight to the tests that I made. Yeah, that's that. So write those 6 tests, make sure that your box is working, and also do that Hello World program. All right. So I think that's everything that I wanted to say. Good luck on your lab, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions.